Hey everyone, Rico Reviews here. It is that time of the week when I do my Once Upon a Time recap. So tonight's episode was called Devil's Due, and it was definitely a Rumple-centric episode. The episode basically starts off with Hades threatening Hook because he refuses to write any of his friends' names down. So he threatens to put him in the River of Lost Souls, which just makes you lost for all eternity, I assume. And that kind of sets off um you see the next scene, Rumple goes into the shop, and I guess Rumple's dad, Peter Pan, left him this note and about the deal that they made about not Rumple, Pan going back to Storybrooke. And Rumple was brewing this potion, which we have no idea what it's for yet. We assume it's to see an image of Belle, because he misses Belle. And he goes and finds Emma and his friends, and he enlists the help of Emma to go find, to go save Hook. And in order to save Hook, they need the help of somebody's aura, and he enlists the help of his ex-wife Mila. And Mila in Storybrooke is, I guess she's a crossing guard, like she's a protector of the children in Storybrooke. I should say Underbrook. And she's surprised that he's there, and she does decide to help him. And they go to Emma's old house, which she hasn't really got to enjoy yet. And they go down to the closet, the closet, the basement. And this is actually funny. Rumple was filling Mila in about how Emma's past lover was Neil, aka Bellfire, and now her lover is Hook, and Mila's just looking like, so you were lovers with my son and my former lover? Yeah, it's complicated. So they went down there, and they Mila wasn't originally gonna go with Emma first, but we find out that her unfinished business isn't with Hook, which Rumple assumed, but it's for Balefire, because she has regrets of not being there for him and not being the mother she should have. And Emma did inform her that she had that vision of Neil, and Neil did move on. So Emma goes off to save Hook, and Mila stays behind in case Rumple tries to steal the boat away. And Rumple and Mila kind of have a touching scene. They kind of talk about Neil, and that's when she reveals that that's her unfinished business. And he says to say hi from his papa for me, and he said to Mila that he'll still love you. And Emma does save Hook, and where she was running, it seemed so narrow, I was afraid she was going to fall over or something. So she saves Hook and takes him back, but meanwhile Hades comes, and he is not happy at all, which I didn't think he would be, and he freezes Mila, and he makes this deal with Rumple that Rumple has to destroy the boat that would take everyone home. If he destroys the boat, then Hades will take Rumple home to Belle. Well, what was interesting is that when Mila became unfrozen, Rumple threw Mila into the I even forget what the name of the river is. The River of the Lost Souls. He threw her in there. I was like, oh my god, after that sweet scene and everything. So they go back, and they inform everybody what happened, and that Rumple helped save him, which, he didn't. And Rumple, I think, was supposed to go back to the shop, and Hades brings him back down. And actually, I should reveal this first. They had Rumple flashback scenes to him and Mila and a young Balefire, and Mila clearly is not happy in her marriage at all, and Balefire ends up getting bit by a snake. And the healer says that he'll save him, but they need 100 gold coins, which they obviously don't have. So Mila says that you have to kill him, and Rumple isn't sure if he wants to do that or not, and they want to spend the last remaining time with their son. And this episode was quite interesting because this is where Mila actually meets Hook for the first time, and she kind of sees the door open for her in a way. And you see Rumple going to kill the healer, but he couldn't do it, so the healer just gives him the potion that will kill Bellfire, but he has to pay a price, which we're not sure yet. And when he goes back to Mila and Balefire, he actually does save Balefire. And Mila was impressed by Rumple at first, but she was wondering what the price was. And Rumple said that he promised the healer his second-born child, and Mila is just crushed and devastated that he made that choice for her, that her life is ruined in a way. So she made the decision to go back to the tavern where Hook is. So I think that kind of set off where the relationship was going to go. But that made me think a minute, because Emily is pregnant in real life. I mean, she just had her baby. Congratulations, Emily. But it made me think, is Belle going to be pregnant? And sure enough, when Hades brings Rumple back, he is very, very sneaky, because he said that he'll bring Rumple back, but not today, because he hid something from him, and it was that crystal ball that he made in the shop. And what we learned, and is confirmed by Hades, is that Rumple didn't want to see an image of Belle. He wanted to see an image of his son, his child, and you don't see anything, you just see Belle. So Hades reveals that Belle is pregnant. So I knew that was coming. I knew that because Emily is pregnant in real life, I figured they were going to add it into the storyline somehow, but how they're adding it in is actually quite original, because Rumple killed the healer, the deal would be null and void. But now Hades has control of it, and any time I guess he could sign off on the deal. Hades can, because he could take Rumple and Belle's child at any time. So Belle is going to be pretty pissed when she finds out about this about Rumple. And it was quite interesting, because they also brought up in the Miller's Daughter episode, when him and Cora, when he made the deal with her for her firstborn child, and then their firstborn child. So that made me think that could have been Regina if Cora hadn't changed the deal. So I'm very curious to see Belle's reaction when she finds out what Rumple did. And I'm very curious to see what happens to the baby, if it's going to go to Underbrook, or if Rumple's going to even change or not. And what I really loved in this episode was Regina met with Cruella because she wanted to know about the graveyard, and if everyone that's on the headstone is there. And she said yes, but if they're tipped over, that means they have moved on. And this is actually a nice scene between Snow and Regina. They go into the graveyard, and Regina's a bit hesitant to look, so that made me think that might be Daniel. And sure enough, it is Daniel, and we got to learn his last name for the first time. His name is Daniel Coulter. Coulter, that's how you say it. And she said to him, and it's actually a very beautiful scene, she said that you were my first love and you'll always be in my heart. And that made me think of why Daniel is in the Underbrook, and I think it's because that his unfinished business was Regina, and wanting her to be happy and finding love again. And I think she's found that in Robin Hood. So it's very bittersweet to see that, because I've always been a Stable Queen fan. So, but I'm glad that she got some closure there. But at the very last scene, we see Regina was going to pull out Emma's heart, so Emma can split her heart with Hook, so it could be one heart like Emma, not Emma. So Emma can split hers and Hook's heart, make it into one like David and Mary Margaret's, but when Regina can't do it because something's holding it back, and then they see in the graveyard that Hades made the choice for them that who's gonna stay in the Underbrook, and it's Snow White, Emma, and Regina, and I'm like, no, oh my god, and that made me think, because David and Snow share one heart. Does that mean David's gonna stay there too? I mean, I'm wondering what's gonna happen there. I hope they don't stay in the. I hope they don't stay in Underbrook, because that would just be off. That would just be awful. I mean, there's been some pictures with Regina and Robin and Roland, so I don't think she'll stay in Underbrook. Let's hope not. But I did like that, even though it was a Rumpel-centric episode, we did get to see a bit of Regina. She actually got her magic back, and when she had fire in her hand, Snow's like, what are you doing? And she's like, just checking. I'm like, aw, she's back. So that's basically it. Next week's episode, the previews look like it's going to be a Hook-centric episode, and we get to meet his brother Liam again, and Emma gets to meet him too, so we'll have to see what happens there. So if you like this recap, like and subscribe. And if you want to catch Once Upon a Time, it is on Sundays, 8 p.m. on ABC. I hope you enjoyed this Once Upon a Time recap. And until next time, stay regal.